So this was mainly a jumping session that was oriented towards some new plyometric exercises that I want to introduce in my rotation. And upper body wise, I was going to be doing something for the handstand, and generally speaking, in the pushing category of the movement pattern. I started off with some handstands against the wall with parallettes, just to get the shoulders nice and warmed up. And the first exercise that I added, that I introduced in my plyometric program, was some forward jumps. Up until now, I have primarily focused on vertical plyometric movements, and I feel like if I was to add something in different planes, like the frontal and the lateral plane, I would benefit in terms of overall stimulus and versatility. So what I started doing was some forward jumps, some lateral jumps, and then I was also doing something in the vertical plane, which was just some plyo jumps on the spot, trying to get as short of ground contact time as I could. And all of this was arranged as a giant set, where I was performing 3 different exercises plyometric wise, and in between I was doing something for the upper body. So I started off warming up with the handstand, and then I was getting into a movement that was more strength oriented, but also an isometric for the triceps, which is this cable overhead tricep extensions, which was going to put a bit more of a focus on the long head of the tricep, and also doing some good elbow work, which is going to be beneficial when I'm doing stuff like the handstand push-up eccentric or any sort of pushing movement. So it's trying to get that elbow greased nicely, and also possibly develop some strength in the tricep, which is a part of the body that I have kind of neglected up until now, simply because I knew that I was doing a lot of pushing stuff, and because of that I was probably prioritizing doing the opposite part of the elbow, which it was mainly bicep curls. I think that some work for the tricep in a more isolated way is going to be good. Now, looking at this wall eccentrics on the handstand push-up, I made a mistake of not putting anything soft on the floor. So in the end, I was kind of controlling my descent, but I was still bumping my forehead on the floor, and yeah, it's not a good idea. So I addressed that in the second set. What I could say about the way that these eccentrics were looking, they weren't too great, and that's probably also because I knew that I had to be extremely careful not to go down too quickly. So I was kind of cheating. There was a bit of an arching in the low back, and yeah, something that I need to consider for the next time that I'm doing this. And also, since I'm recording the voiceover a few days after this session took place, I must report that I did experience a good amount of soreness in my shoulders at the deltoid level, which is something that is new. I never really felt like the delts were crushed by doing the eccentrics on the handstand push-up. So maybe it's the fact that I was doing them against the wall, but the reps didn't really look like they were really good. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's the fact that I was also working the triceps at the same time, but it's a welcome thing. It means that that part of the body was worked, and hopefully the next time that I'm doing this, I'm able to maybe make them look a bit prettier, and maybe get another one. That would be good, because I was doing them freestanding every minute on the minute, and definitely I had some extra time to recover in between reps. But even when I started doing them from an elevated position in the old gym, I was doing up to 5 reps per set. Yeah, that was over a month ago, so enough time probably has passed for me to get used to a different variation. And as soon as I reintroduce this one, there is a bit of a gap to be filled up. So hopefully the next week is going to be something that doesn't really give me much soreness, and I will be trying and getting at least 1 extra rep overall on that exercise. Plyometrics wise, I can only really speak about these plyo jumps that are passing by, because all the other exercises I've just introduced. These plyo jumps were looking a bit better than before. I feel like I'm doing a bit of a better job in getting into a groove and the pace where my arm swing is kind of coordinated with the amortization portion of the jump happening at the lower part of the body. So yeah, I feel like they're looking a bit better, and I was going for a few more reps than before. It's like up to 8. I don't want to do too many of those, because the main focus should still be to get as much explosivity from each rep as possible. So I don't want to really go high on that, but overall it was a fun session, and let's go to the next one. Ciao.